Hi, welcome to Yumi Mediumship. Tonight, I've touched on the subject before, I believe. The title of the video is called Why Me? And I've been asked this question a number of times, I guess, over the years. Why do I feel like I want to become a medium, or I want to work in mediumship? Why can I see spirit? Why can I hear spirit and other people can't? Why? It's a difficult question to answer. But I do have an idea. I've actually sat with this question before with spirit, and I did a small piece of writing which I'll try and dig out at some point and post it on here, or post it on my Patreon for you to read. And it's quite interesting in a sense. Kind of went with my gut feeling about the question as to why some of us are gifted people. That raises a question, that statement, because in reality we are not necessarily gifted, because we are no different obviously than anyone else. We're here with a purpose, like we all are. We're here to learn. The world is our classroom, and that's why we've been put here, really. Now, the chances are we're put here through choice, our own choice, as to what, as spiritual beings, as energies, we attracted to certain lifestyles, certain lives that contained the lessons that we needed to learn. I can hear many of you thinking, nobody in their right mind would have chosen the life I've led. That's exactly how, whilst in the body, whilst operating with the mind, we are naturally going to feel. There are lessons in life that can be very difficult ones to learn. Cause a lot of pain, not only to yourself, but maybe to others, and very difficult mountains to climb. But we all tend to be able to climb those mountains in the end. If not, the chances are we will revisit those mountains in one way or another and face those difficulties again, but we will overcome them. And I would say that the majority of us do manage to overcome these lessons that are put before us within this life, however painful they may be. So yes, we're all here with a reason, we're all here with a purpose, and sometimes that purpose is very difficult to find, but there is one. There's always a purpose, even if it's just to overcome some of those challenges that life throws before you. And for those of you that have overcome some really difficult situations and moved on from those, then you should be so proud of yourself for what you have achieved, because that growth within self is probably a lot bigger, a lot greater than what you actually realize. So in a sense, you should pat yourself on the back for what you have achieved so far. Life is never easy, and there are people that pretend it is. There are people that seem to have that silver spoon. We all stand there in awe and think, how on earth does everything they do work out? Whereas sometimes everything I try seems to go wrong. So, a life with purpose and difficulty will enhance you a lot more than what a life that is just so simple that really it has no purpose. But to be honest, that does not exist. And as good as people are hiding these problems that they have and pretending that their life is, a bed of roses, they will still have to deal with that. Pushing it away will not make it go away. Okay, so it sounds a bit doom and gloomy, doesn't it, really? I'm just trying to explain in a sense that, we are all the same, mediums or not, psychics or not, light workers or not. So anyway, in the sitting that I did with Spirit with this question in mind, when I sit with a question, I always write down immediately what I think I have got come to me. I am a human being. I get things wrong. I mishear things, but I do my very best to get down the information that I'm given as accurately as I can. And it's that information that I work with. Normally, if I do make a mistake, it will come to me in the end, no, that is not right, and I will alter it. But that is very rare that Spirit have questioned what I've written down or make me change what I've written down. I tend to put it as it comes on the paper. So, we'll go back to the question, after all that, about why me. Now, Spirit said, and very clearly, okay, that a light worker is not a gifted person. Okay? A light worker, a medium, for argument's sake, a medium, is a person who has experienced many things. Now, I took from that what they are talking of is many lives, or have gone through many lives' experiences and dealt with those experiences over time. It's kind of like a qualification. And I think at the very end of it, I haven't got the piece of writing with me. It's here on the phone, so obviously I'm not going to bring that up. I should have printed it off, really, made more sense. But they're saying that the art of mediumship is something that was truly attained, is what they said at the very end. In other words, the life experiences that you have gone through, okay, and you've come out of the other side. So in other words, you've worked hard through these lifetimes, experiencing all these different experiences, dealing with all these different emotions. And you have obviously gained knowledge, not only of life itself, but also of spirit, the reason of spirit, why we are here. Subconsciously, why we are here. You know an awful lot more than what you think you know. And it's that rises to the surface that keeps that part of your energy, your soul, your spirit open throughout this lifetime. So from birth, everybody has knowledge in various degrees. We all have knowledge of purpose. We all have knowledge of spirit, the energies around us. We all have knowledge of that. And I'm sure you've seen online many clips, I guess, of children talking to their pretend friends that us adults just think they've made up in their minds. And I'm a true believer in the fact that these are not imaginary friends. And there are clips also online where children are speaking to family that have passed. And this can be years later, and it's surprising really that about all the detail that they can remember about that family member that passed, and they sit and they talk to them. Same with, I guess, reincarnation. There are a number of children, and there was a fairly recent, a lot of research done fairly recently. I think it was in America, I believe. And yes, there are false claims. There are false claims of remembering past lives. But there are also a number of very, very accurate accounts of previous lives, where these, not only scientists, there's a lot of investigation went on with I said there's scientists, and just people interested in the subject of reincarnation, who investigated this over quite a long period of time. And they were without doubt that reincarnation, or there's definitely something there. Some of these children's memories were just absolutely spot on. And there's just no way they could have known what they knew. The investigators went into detail, real good detective work into these stories, and there was no doubt in their minds. So, as a medium, I think it's very important to be humble, because, like I said, we're all the same. Not just all the mediums the same, but all people are the same. Okay, we all act differently because of our experiences, because of our perceptions of things of life itself, of the world around us. We all have different perceptions. These perceptions normally come from experiences or are fed to us. So we are different in that sense. But as far as energy, as far as soul within the body, we are all the same. There is love in everyone. And sometimes it can be buried so deep that it's never felt within some people. Hence, some people with no morals, people that create horrific crimes. That spark is within them also, but just buried far too deeply. Or life's experience has buried it far within the soul. So we are lucky in a sense. We're not gifted. We are just lucky that the position that we are in as mediums, we are lucky, and I give thanks for this all the time, we are lucky that there is an element of that truth still in the forefront of our minds. Because all the experiences we've been through, we are able to keep hold of that and bring it forward in our minds in everyday life. So we are old souls, if you like. If we put it in a nutshell, we are old souls. Nobody's waved a magic wand over us or covered us in fairy dust. No, we are not magicians. We are just old souls with experience, and we are lucky enough to have held on to some of that experience, some of that knowledge in the forefront of our minds. Whereas the younger souls would find it very difficult to pull that information into their everyday lives, if you like. So we've all had or got the information there. It is there, buried deep within us. But just some of us are more capable of bringing that to the forefront of our lives, into our everyday lives. Now, as a child, spirit, religion, God, and all that was never ever mentioned when I grew up. It was never mentioned. Yes, I went to weddings. Yes, I went to funerals, and you would hear the vicar saying his bit. But it wasn't something that I guess I accepted or needed to accept or had any interest in. You know, I was just looking after myself and looking for them glasses of orange juice and the sausage rolls in the buffet. That was about as far as my interest went in a wedding or what have you. You know, most young children are like that. But I can remember at the age of probably 9 or 10 having sleepless nights because I felt there was something else, there was purpose. And I would lay there at night, excuse me, and try and work out what the purpose was. Not just in my life, but for all life. What was that purpose? And that's very strange for a child of 9 or 10 years old to be worrying about that sort of thing. So I guess it was there then. And then I would see spirit. Not that often, but I could see spirit. And I could sense an energy around me, in the room, in the woods where I played for many years, alone in the woods, and sometimes in the dark. You know, my parents would probably be locked away now, but I was safe and I felt perfectly safe. I knew that the energies around me within that wood at night was not there to harm me. It was out in the countryside. There were no other people around, so I was perfectly safe. It wasn't like walking in the city at night or anything like that. I was perfectly safe, to be honest. So you're not chosen. Okay, you've earned this talent that you have. Okay, you are just lucky to have come this far and to be able to lock on to that information that you had from birth anyway. You cannot, and it is very, very rare that you will be able to pull every bit of information that you brought with you to the forefront of your mind, because there is an element of control with that. That cannot happen. But for some of the older souls, there is an element there that will come to the forefront of your mind. It's there, and you can't push that away. So it's a kind of knowing, I guess. You've brought the knowing with you from the day that you were born. Like everybody else, you bring that knowing with you. But if a young soul would be too wrapped up in life itself to be able to bring that knowing to the forefront of their minds. So, okay, Mr. and Mrs. Medium out there, feel lucky and give thanks for that element within you that holds on to that truth. Truth that will never alter. It cannot. Hence the word truth. You cannot alter truth. And that's what I find very difficult sometimes with some of the religions, how they are altered to suit man. Because once you alter truth, or try and alter truth, it is no longer the truth. It's just convenient. So, there's a little talk for you. Please leave some comments. Please like and subscribe. Please have a look on Patreon. Very few videos on there, but my YouTube ones are going to get less and less, and I'm going to be putting more onto Patreon so I can spend longer on there, do longer talks, deeper talks, and be more personalised, I guess. So thanks for listening. Have a great evening and take care, and I'll speak to you very soon. Bye for now.